Good afternoon. Y'all continue to enjoy your dessert. If you've not had dessert yet, there's plenty of cake and pie left back there. I hope someone will take my share. I realized shortly after the beginning of the year that I needed to avoid cake and pie for several months, maybe a couple, 3, 4, 5 years. But I'm Chris Thomason. I'm Chancellor of the University of Arkansas Community College at Hope, and it's my distinct pleasure on behalf of all of our faculty, staff, and also our students, and for today's event, the UACCH Foundation, to welcome you all to our campus here in Hope. You know, this is the 2012 Spring Scholarship Recognition Ceremony. We do this twice a year because of the way, obviously, our academic year is divided and our scholarship programs are set up. Once in the fall and once in the spring. And I can tell you, for the faculty, staff, and our foundation, it's one of the most enjoyable times, one of the most enjoyable ceremonies that we take part in each year. Now, it's easy to say that whenever you do a lot of different types of events and ceremonies every year, every time. But I honestly mean it this time. And this is really one... Out of your head, right? It's the sugar rush will hit you in just a minute and everybody will perk up a little bit. But this ceremony goes to the very core of what we do, the very core of our mission here at UACCH, and the very core of the reason why the UACCH Foundation exists. And that's to provide assistance to students who are willing to accept that assistance and make the most of it. What I'll say about this event today is it's smaller in the spring than it is in the fall because of the way, again, our scholarship programs are designed. So it makes it a lot more intimate. And really that's what we hope we've tried to do over the last couple of years as we've looked at this ceremony, is give our donors who have taken their blessings in life and shared them with other people that they may not even know, and let them be introduced to students who are willing to accept that blessing and accept that assistance and make the absolute most out of it. That's why today's personal in that sense. We hope that we can bring those two very important groups of people together. The most important groups on our campus, the people that support our mission and our donors, and the students that make the most of that support and make the most of the opportunities that are provided here on campus. So we hope it's personal at that level. That's why you're sitting at a table together, donor with scholarship recipient. We hope that you take the time to get to know one another in a way that will benefit each other, beyond the scholarship assistance and beyond the wonderful education that you're receiving here on our campus. But we also have a couple other reasons for bringing these two great groups on our campus together, because we want both of you to appreciate that as personal as this relationship is between donor and scholarship recipient, it's even bigger than that. If you look, for example, as donors, what your scholarships mean to our students and have meant to them historically, our retention rates on this campus are tremendous. I talk about them all the time. Well over 70%, 20, 25 points higher than the national average on anybody's scale of retaining students towards graduation. But your scholarship recipients, the students that are sitting with you today and others on campus, they were retained on our campus at a rate of greater than 93%. So you're not just providing assistance on paying tuition, you're knocking down a barrier towards the ultimate goal in graduation. And students, these donors are not just helping you pay that tuition bill that you get after the first of the semester, but they're giving you a gift that, combined with your hard work, almost assures your success. That's pretty tremendous. That's bigger than just a donor and a single scholarship recipient. But even larger than that, and because of the size of this group and because of some recent award recipient, we all kind of said, you know what, maybe we would like to point out for our donors and our scholarship recipients to even appreciate an even bigger picture. The gift that you make, our donors make every year to our scholarship recipients, do more than just pay the bill. They do more than help secure the success of a student in graduation. We always talk about that's the ultimate goal, but really the ultimate goal is for our students to graduate and have an impact with that education that they receive on this campus, the education that you help provide. Students, we'd like for you to see that just making the chancellor's list is not really the only thing that we want you to do. Or receiving that diploma as you cross the stage is not the only thing we want you to do. We want you to take that education that was provided in great deal by the generosity of these donors that are with you today and make an impact on the place that you call home. And y'all are doing that. Our donors have been doing it for years. And our recipients have done it as well. And the recipients that are in this room today, you have that opportunity to have just as big an impact. So what better way to show you this broader, bigger picture of the impact of your generosity and the promise of your commitment, students, to a brighter future than give you the perfect example right here in Hope, Arkansas. So what I would suggest to you is we're about to hear from what we believe is a great example of the power of scholarships and the transformative benefits of education on impacting in a positive way so many lives. You're making an investment today in these students, and these students are investing in their education to pay off in dividends for a better and brighter future for tomorrow for Southwest Arkansas. And Kristi Robbins is a great example of that. Kristi lives here in Hope with her husband, Ricky, and as I go through some of her accomplishments, I'll tell you that's the only one. I shared this with her. That's the only questionable accomplishment that I could say. But they have two wonderful kids, so I think it worked out for her all right. Ricky and I graduated from high school together, by the way, so I can say those things about him. She's a 6th grade literacy teacher at Burl Henry Elementary, where she has taught for 11 years. She graduated from Prescott High School in 1995. After that, she attended and graduated from UACCH with an Associates of Arts degree. She then continued her education, as many of our students do, by transferring to an area 4-year institution, Henderson State University, here, where she received her Bachelor of Arts degree in education in 2000. She graduated with magna cum laude, and after a few years of teaching, she has now received her Master's in Curriculum and Instruction in English as a second language. But most important, I think, of all of her accomplishments, she was just recently honored as by the Hope Rotary Club as being selected as the 2011 Burl Henry Elementary Teacher of the Year. I think that Kristi Robbins is a wonderful example of what your investment in these students' future can pay off, not just for the student, but also for our entire community. So with that, I introduce you Ms. Kristi Robbins.
Thanks for that warm welcome and introduction. Like Chancellor Thomason stated, I do live here in Hope. I'm originally from Prescott, where I graduated, and shortly after starting my senior year in Prescott, all my classmates started talking, "Where are you going? What are you doing?" And I said, I'm going to stay close to home. I was always a homebody, still am. So I'm just 15 miles from home, being in Prescott. And I said I was going to take 2 years at Hope, do my basics. Not real sure what I was wanting to do, so I followed at the student recruiter at the time, followed my coach Paul Nasur over here, so he kind of guided me through my first 2 years, and it was a real great experience. I was able, to stay close to home and drive back and forth. And what a change this campus has been, has gone through. It's remarkable. Like I said, when I enrolled, it was still Red River Technical College, and I think I was here 2 semesters. And then the switch went into place for the University of Arkansas Community College at Hope. We had 2-3 buildings max. The nicest development that we were all excited about was the new library, the new auditorium that was going on. So we were able to witness that going and being built. And luckily, I'm glad to say that I was the first production on that stage. We put on a huge Christmas program with Mr. Tom Freeman was my history professor at the time, and lots of memories here at UACCH. Went with a huge group of people from here. We went to Washington, D.C., and did the Today Show. So just lots of fond memories here at UACCH. Screen went blank. I'm very appreciative of my time here at UACCH. I felt prepared and confident to tackle the larger university that I was going to, with being Henderson State University. One of the main things that I look back was the one-on-one time here on this campus that the professors put in. I mentioned Mr. Freeman again. I saw him 6 or 7 years ago at a ball tournament, and of course I remembered him because he made a huge impact on my life. And he was like, "Hey, Kristi, what team are you rooting for?" And I was like, "That's my boy out there on that team." And so his grandson was actually playing against my son, so that was kind of neat. After transferring to Henderson, I decided that I would become a teacher. But first I want to talk to you about how important scholarships were on my journey to becoming a teacher. Of course, scholarships, they help pay for tuition, they help pay for books, and like I said, I was a homebody, so of course, the leftover money that I had for gas was not being able to communicate or to commute back and forth. Without scholarships, it would have been hard for my parents to send me to school. I have a younger sister, I have an older sister. They didn't choose, they have wonderful lives, they've made it, great accomplishments, but they didn't choose to go to school. And, I don't know without scholarships if I would be standing here today. With saying all of this, with the scholarships, I was able to devote all of my time, all of my energy to school. I was able to stay at home. Luckily, my mom didn't tell me, "Hey, get out and get a job." I was at, if I needed to write a paper, if I needed to study for a test, that's what I did. I wanted to be the best that I could be. I wanted to be the scholarship recipient that put in the extra mile, that made the good grades. I never wanted to let anyone down, and I wanted to be the best representative of a scholarship that I could be. Scholarship recipients, those of you that are in this room, I know how you were feeling. You were at a loss for words because the commitment and the generosity that these donors are putting forth, just a simple thank you is not enough. The donors that are in this room, some of these scholarships, this money, some of them, it's a miracle that, these students are going to be able to continue, especially with how the economy is going. You as donors will never know how much your acts of kindness by giving is sometimes considered that. One stipulation, of course, of the award, that these students still have to continue to make good grades. They still have to put in the hours, and that's being able, like you, to being able to encourage and to push these recipients to succeed. And like I said, I feel like if I would have lost any of my scholarship money at any part during my time, it would have been detrimental, but of course I would have kept going, never giving up. After graduating from UACCH, once again I knew tuition was going to be costly. I knew I wasn't going to live on campus because I would have cried and wanted to come back home every night. At the time, I was encouraged by someone here on this campus to go see Chancellor Rapert. I talked to him. He wanted to know what I was going to do, and I said, I'm going to go to Henderson. I think I'm going to be a teacher. And he said, "Well, what can we help you with? What?" And of course, the first thing I was just like, "Well, I know I'm going to need books. I'll need books at least the first year." And so he was kind enough, through scholarship money, he paid for my books, my fall and spring semester, and then it was probably a month or 2 months, I got a letter from Dr. Charles Dunn, the president at the time at Henderson State University, and I opened up the letter and I was, reading through it, and he said, I'm very pleased to inform you that you will receive a President's Community Scholarship to Henderson to pay for your next 2 years at Henderson State University. So right then I was just like, "Where's Chancellor Rapert? I need to run and give him a hug," because I know he's had a hand in that. I want to say congratulations to these recipients because I've been in your shoes before and I know these scholarships, you'll use them to the best that you can be. And to the donors, I want to extend a huge heartfelt thank you because you are helping students to become the successes of our future. I'm a primary example of a student that started out at UACCH and became a teacher so I could give back to the community since the community had been so gracious in helping me on my road to success. Like Chris stated, recently I was honored as being selected as the Rotary Club Teacher of the Year. Huge surprise, great accomplishment, but I can honestly say that becoming a teacher is one of the most rewarding jobs I could have ever asked for. Each and every day, my goal is to be a positive influence for my students. And also part of our daily teacher's creed is, I change the world one student at a time. And I truly believe that I do that each and every day. I discuss with my students all the time about their future plans. And I'm proud to say that on my path to success, UACCH was a bridge that I had to cross over to get to where I am today. Thank you.
I think the saying could be the same for our donors now as you look at Kristi, that you're changing the world one student at a time. Isn't she a wonderful example of the return on investment? We want to thank all of our donors again for ensuring that there are continued Kristis to come back to Southwest Arkansas. And we want to also congratulate our students who are recipients of scholarships today at being the next great success story. Also, we've talked about our donors and our students, and Kristi, our scholarship recipients, and Kristi alluded to another very important group that many are here today. But let's all give a hand to the families that support our students and our scholarship recipients who are with us in the back of the room.